Welcome to the Man Exchange podcast hosted by Coach Alfonso Short. Join him each week on Saturday mornings as he engages with his guests and they discuss men leading, boys thriving, and communities winning. The conversation is underway.
Hello to everyone. I hope that you've had a great week. I'd like to thank you for joining Man Exchange. I am the host, Coach Al Short or Alfonso Short. And today this is really a special edition of Man Exchange for the month of June. And if you were not aware of it, June is considered African American Music Appreciation Month, but it's also known as Black Music Month. It was established by President Jimmy Carter in 1979 and renamed by President Obama. It celebrates the profound impact that Black musicians and creators have had on the global culture across genres of music, whether it's gospel, jazz, rock, and hip hop, and so on. Today, I have a very special guest that I want to introduce to everyone, and then I'll have him present a little more about himself. His name is Stanley Malif Lewis. I'm going to just share a little small clip of some of his music, and then we'll get into interview and he can really dissect these things for me. And I have a list of questions for him myself. All right. I really like that. I hope that you all are at least given the appetizer and that you are now ready to hear this musician, and I would say very good friend of mine for years now, for maybe 10 years. He was very talented in his music and other things, and he would share that with us. So Stanley, may I call you Stanley? I call you Stan.
Sir.
I'll call you Stan.
Stanley.
Okay,
Whatever your pleasure.
All right. First of all, I'd like to thank you for taking some of your precious time to be a part of the Man Exchange program or podcast. Of course, you know, we've talked about this podcast of me doing it for a while with us being close friends and having an opportunity to share ideas about things I'm doing and things you're doing in music. And now it's come to fruition and we're here now. I want you to know Man Exchange is a place where it's a safe community for men to be informed and to be heard, to be healed, to be whole, to be humble, and most of all, to be transformed. And I know that we both have gone through that together and individually in our lifetime of being friends, and we've shared some of those ups and downs and the victories. And that made it more interesting when I had the opportunity to have a musician in this month of June. You were the first one and the only one that I wanted to interview. So I thank you once again. If you share a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get more into some Q&A.
Yes, sir. Thank you. First off, I appreciate you and all of the work that you're doing and have done and will continue to do. in this space and others as well. Uh, I'm honored to be a guest and to be with you today. My name is Stanley Lewis. Malif is just a play on the word mellifluous. So Stanley Malif Lewis as the artist name,
Yes.
but I'm just a melanated musician, foundational Black American from Akron, Ohio. Um, been playing the saxophone for quite some time. I used to play in front of my parents and cousins and aunts and uncles as a child. When I was a child, they would bring out the bumpy face gin and the grapefruit juice and play some blues music and say, "Little Stanley, come out here with that sax." And I've been playing ever since. But just connecting to music, I value life. Um, I'm committed to healing. I'm committed to growth. Uh, I'm committed to self development, as I know that you are as well. And I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful.
Well, in knowing I have a million questions because we've talked about this a million times that I want to get a chance to help you continue to move on with your music, and you have done so, in the last few years. So, really, to start it off, does it seem like a moment that you capture now when you listen to your music and you say, "That's me"?
It does. It does. I'll go on Apple Music. My album, It's All About Love, I released it on day 9 of the year 2020. And when I go on Apple Music to listen to the songs and just hear them back, yeah, it's like a moment
And
every
and
time.
and the challenge in itself that you were working on this album probably before COVID or as it started, but to continue to work on it and master it so that you could release it during the period of COVID. I know that had to be a quite a challenge in itself.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It was a time where there was a lot of uncertainty and fear and just scariness, going on with the fear mongering, all of the illnesses and the lost loved ones during that time. It was a pretty low time, and things weren't. It was like the normal had gotten shifted, you
Yes.
know. So there was a lot going on during that time, and thankfully, I was able to pour that energy into recording most of the songs uh, for the album right there at my home studio. That was
Well,
a good time.
I know I talked to you on and off through COVID. You had also just made a demographic move from your residence from North Carolina to Georgia, somewhere in there, and you getting your studio set up, and we would talk about you getting your music to the people who were working with you, and just for me, and we didn't give it, but the title of your album is All About Love. And examining its development and how it represents I'm pretty sure, distinct era uh, in your life and career. How did you come up with that title? And particularly in the times, as you said, we were in a time of darkness.
Man, I came up with that title. It came to me actually, uh, but it was related to the biggest truth as I see it. The biggest spiritual truth, not love in the romanticized version, but
Yes,
love in the agape, the universal version.
yes,
That's why I chose day 9, December 20th, I believe it was 2020, to release the album because of universality of the message, and I wanted something that would encompass everything.
Yeah. Well, it's all about love, and that's the bottom to the line. You
Yes,
know,
indeed.
it is. It when you were recording the music, did you like prefer well structured arrangements or allowing space for spontaneous uh in the moment improvisation?
When I was recording the arrangement and the album, I was focused more on structure. I had a vision of I had a vision of how I wanted each song to develop. And when I got into the studio, I didn't want to deviate from that, uh, except in small moments where I would pick small spots to improvise.
Yes.
So that's kind of how I approached that.
So now it's been over 5 years, close to 6 years that you've recorded this album. And has your anticipation on reviews of how people react and respond to the music, how do you deal with that part of it? Because everybody's a critic no matter what we do.
Oh, absolutely. Uh, how did I respond to
Yeah.
that?
How did you and how do you still respond?
The people that it's going to resonate with are the people it'll resonate with. The people that it's not going to resonate with, it probably wasn't going to resonate with them anyway,
Right.
and that's fine. Because it's not for everybody. You know, I put a lot of intentionality into my music. I understand the power of music. It can penetrate uh, every part of us. So I choose to be careful about how I approach music in general.
Yes.
So for the people who love the booty shaking and everything like that, that's not really their lane, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Some people see what I've done musically as kind of corny, and that's fine. But there are there's one person that I created the music for initially, and that was me, and it resonated with me, and so I received it. And as the people who rock with me receive it, that's just how it goes.
Right.
It's going to be organic. That's how I look at that.
And it shows that it pours out in your sound that you have the love of music. So when was the big bright light? When did the big bright light really go off, and you had the idea that, hey, I'm really pretty good with this saxophone. I think I'm gonna stick with this not only for a while, but likely a lifetime, because I know you have in the time that I've been around you, that you're very, very serious about. You say that's just not my setting, and I really respect that in itself. That you like you say, that you know what you're doing, and you're doing you, and that's not being disrespectful to anyone. That you're sharing Stanley Malik Lewis, the spirit, and it's a spirit of love. So how do you still continue to still have that burning desire to become better at the instrument?
Well, I guess I would say again, looking back to my childhood, music was always a safe space for me to go back to, even when it was scary playing and performing in front of my relatives during the house parties and such. Uh, my father always encouraged me to refine all of my skills, not just musically, but constantly refine, and particularly with respect to music. So when he passed, I think in 2015, that's when I think things crystallized for me a bit more in terms of going to the next level with my
Mhm.
music and taking my craft more seriously in that respect.
Yeah, and I can appreciate that because, and I go back, ladies and gentlemen, me and Brother Stan here, we had conversations, on a regular basis. We worked together for a period of time. And once he wasn't working with us, he was in the mix of knowing that he wanted to do something with his music. And I definitely was a big cheerleader because I heard him play just playing around and was like, man, you are a professional. And not know I'm playing. He is a professional. He knew he was a professional at that time too, but he was humble. He talked to me like, "Yeah, I'm a professional, this or that." He's about the business, and he explained to me, make me want to play the saxophone.
Come on.
Yes, so the discussion about the gear, this is something that I want him to share, but it's a question I definitely want to bring forth from where I just said is that in what ways has your saxophone configuration now, the instrument itself, mouthpiece, the reed, and your practice habits changed over the years?
I think I've become more locked in on practicing areas of weakness over and over. And a lot of times that'll be the whole practice session for me more recently, as opposed to, back in the past. In terms of my gear, I've pretty much stuck with the Theowana mouthpieces. I've changed mouthpieces a couple times, moving from hard rubber composite, like the Blue Art mouthpiece that I use primarily for the album, to the metal Theowana. Which one was it? The Durga. So I've switched back and forth between the hard rubber and the metal mouthpieces. With respect to the reeds, that hasn't really changed too much, except I did recently move over to Rigatti reed. I've been using Rico's and Van Doren's for the longest, but there was a gentleman who introduced me to another mentor who introduced me to the Rigatti reeds, jazz reeds recently, and they've worked quite well for me. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that's going to manifest itself in my next recordings.
Yeah, and that's interesting. It leads into my next question is that reflecting on your past, who were some of the key figures or mentors that kind of shaped your mindset, not only on regarding your performance with your instrument, but also give you some tips and keys about the business and lifestyle aspects of being a professional musician?
Man, I've been blessed to be poured into by some pretty spectacular individuals. I've learned some things from many people in the Fayetteville, North Carolina area. Shout out to Richie Love. Shout out to Robbie C. Shout out to Mr. Felton. And in terms of Atlanta, Georgia area, Mr. Larry Jackson was monumental saxophonist in his own right. He played the sax part for Babyface's "This Is for the Cool in You." That's him on the horn on that record, and he showed me a whole lot when it came to taking my music and my craft to the next level. Mm-hmm. And in terms of the business aspect of things, he was very helpful in that as well. Earl Williams Jr., another one from a great saxophone player, a musician, a teacher out of the Atlanta area. Shout out to him. And if I'm missing anybody who on the horn specifically, I think those would be the main influences that have helped me when it comes to actual tone on the instrument, the technical proficiency of the instrument, not feeling like I had to play 50 million notes in 1.3 seconds. you know, less is best many times.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, just the value of balance and staying true to myself, the authenticity piece.
Okay. Okay. So, what is your method for developing a solo? And do you have a particular method for creating tension or employing dynamics or narrating a short story through chord transition? I'm talking this like I'm a musician. I'm a halfway bass player person, but I'm a music lover and I love the saxophone. So,
Yes, sir.
we talked about it, but I know I've been able to really go through him creating his album probably song by song because he's not even playing, he's just sharing with me the ideas. So I like for you to kind of share that with others now.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and I'm a lover of the bass as well. So yeah, there's no frequency like it. Um, so in terms of the question, the solo, I want the solo to go somewhere, but I start with the motif. That's what I like to do, and then build around that motif. Uh, get to some type of climax, and then resolve it, falling back into the motif, if possible.
Yeah.
Building of the tension for me, I just take a certain amount of bars and then rock with it. I lock in and I work that formula until it resonates the most with me, and that's how I structure a solo, I guess I would say. If I had to
Okay.
break it down.
Okay. I know I've listened to many musicians in their interviews and very seasoned, and they emphasize that what you just said, more or less, the significance of avoiding excessive play when they're performing. But also, how do you juggle passion with intent, your intense passion with not going overboard? Because I know you have particular songs, whether it's your songs or someone else, that you gotta you got another version. And I know you have to feel the crowd, and also you have to be a great musician that you say, I'm changing this up right now. And nobody knows you change it. Like you said, they're just grooving. So how are you, do you feel like you're pretty much natural in improvisation from what you kind of see or feel the crowd is really moving to?
Well, in terms of the excessive play, and that question in general, I just think about my mentor and teacher, Larry Jackson. When I first went to him, uh, he had me play a couple different things, and he just flat out said, "You sound like trash." And I thought he was joking until I realized he wasn't. In other words, he was showing me that balance that you're asking about. In fact, there's a balance, and there's a concept of balance that's prevalent in the universe. So why would music be any different? Is
Right.
what he would get me to see. And so it is very challenging for me at times to rein it in. But I think about his instruction when it comes to that. And I think about James Brown said, give the drummer some. You share, you give, like there's a part to this where I fall back and let the listener interpret what they want to interpret, and then there's a part of this where I push forward and
Right.
assert myself, and you will hear me as God gave it to me to be heard.
Yeah.
So there's a balance in that mix, and finding that right mix is something that I've practiced over the years, and especially when it comes to playing with other musicians at the same time, that's when I'm most conscious of it,
Right.
because it's not hard for me to uh, uh, pull back and share that space when there are other musicians
Right.
involved. But when it's just me and I'm doing like a solo gig or performance, there's an added layer to that challenge.
Right. You can go to another level of Stan Lee.
Yes, sir.
Yes, and we appreciate that. And going into,
Thank
like you're saying, being yourself, how these are kind of just character type questions, no pun to that we're Mr. Right, Mr. Wrong, but just kind of a little more jovial questions, and kind of relate to, I call it Desert Island album. And my question is that if you found yourself on a desert island and could bring only 3 albums, excluding your own,
All
what
right.
would you choose?
3 albums. Okay, well, Desert is just me on the
Just you,
island.
just you, the only man on the
Well,
island.
well, do I have a chance of getting off the island?
We'll get you on. We'll get you on.
Okay, all right.
Just
Just want to
relax.
make sure. Okay,
Just
all
relax.
right. Stevie Wonder, Songs in the Key of Life.
Okay.
That would be one. I guess for the time being, at least, Grover Washington Jr. Wine Light.
Okay.
That would be the second one, and the third one, probably Kurt Carr, Awesome Wonder. I think.
All right. Now, is there a tie to all of these artists that really grabbed your attention, that you want that as a style, or you've seen performances and you're creating some of your performance into their style? Also, just the way they play their music, what the rhythm and vibe that they move into with their music, because it's very diverse with all of those artists, and I know you are too. So, is there a tie to those 3 artists that you connect the dots?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think Stevie Wonder, blind as a child, disabled as a child. I have a soft spot in my heart for people with disabilities. My father had one. He dealt with polio. But to see Stevie Wonder deal with his disability in such a magnificent way from a young child, uh,
Hmm.
it's very inspirational for me. And his songs, just the spirit of his songs, uh, has love as the undertone there too.
Yes. Yes.
So I greatly resonate with him. As far as Grover Washington, absolutely, his style is amazing. It's impeccable. His tone is something that has influenced me greatly as I've strived to create my own tone. Um, and his records, they just hit different.
Yeah.
I like the bass in his records. Uh, like I said, that bass is a frequency that is all on its own. It penetrates things that no other frequency can, in terms of, from to my understanding.
Yes.
And his tunes are, that bass would get me through on that island. That bass would get me through on that island. And when it comes to Kurt Carr, I think with him, it's just, I can't put my finger on it, but there's something about him that fights.
Hmm.
There's something about him that won't quit no matter what. No matter what, you know, is going on.
Yeah.
And so it's the resilience that I perceive from his music that resonates with me, and his spirit as well. He's not gonna lose as long as he doesn't quit.
Right. And as you asked me about will you be able to get off the island? We're getting closer to getting off the island and finish the interview, but not yet. Now, my question is, with doing music, and also you work an everyday job as a professional attorney in your field. So I know that time is really a factor to everything. So what is your relaxation period like? Like, what type of activities do you do practicing, not recording as much, but maybe working on a little bit of your music, but really activities that help you kind of regenerate and rejuvenate yourself?
For sure, activities, walking, working out, gardening, spending time with family, and intentional time with impactful time with family. Uh, those kind meditation, those kinds of things help me recharge. Just being alone, a
Okay.
lot of times, just helps me
Yeah.
recharge. I
Quiet
think it's a
time is
combination.
peace brings strong peace. Well, what what is the most memorable gig that you've done so far in your professional career, and
Mm.
really what distinguished it from all the other gigs that you've done before?
Wow, that's a tough one. I think the most memorable gig, it would have to be a private event. There was a private event that I played at where everybody locked in. Uh, to the extent I can go into it, everybody locked in, man. It was transformational. Uh, I was playing Bootsy Collins. I'd rather be with you during the pinnacle of that gig, and the couples just got up, man, and the singles got up too, and everybody was just locked into the groove, and I was able to put my own spin on the song in a way that I felt it. I felt everything rise to another level,
Right.
and so that private event was, I would say, my most memorable gig.
Okay, so I would take it that we're trying to build on that from this point on. So now, really, my last question, because you lead into it perfectly, is that what is what's next on your musical journey?
Next on my musical journey, I'm working on revamping my studio first, and then a Christmas album. I want to put out a Christmas album.
I know
Yeah.
someone, I know someone very happy about that, Dr.
Okay.
Nessa Short.
Okay. Okay.
Because,
Awesome. Awesome.
and I'm not going to get on you, but I know before 5 years ago, she did a special request. Stan, why don't you do a Christmas album? So she's going to be excited. We both
She
are going to
did.
be excited. And now you put it out there. So now you're going to be pushed by, if no one else, both of us.
Hey, that's cool because I've got two Christmas songs out on YouTube on my YouTube channel, Stanley Malif Lewis, right now. But every time I hear those songs, there's a push there too.
You can do it.
So I'm looking forward to that, as well as releasing another album. My first album was released in 2020. Like I said, it's been quite some time that has passed. I don't want to rush anything when it comes to that next album. That's
Right.
my original work, uh, again, but because the first album was my original work, except for one song, the Ooh La La La, my interpretation of that from Tina Marie. But with respect to the Christmas album, yeah, I welcome the push. I'm pushing myself, and that's probably the next piece of music that the people are going to hear from me.
Well, we'll be looking forward to that. And I thank you for your time today. I hope that everyone who is listening has really enjoyed the interview. And also, I would recommend that you listen to the album, to the CDs. He has some of the music on YouTube, but give the platforms that you can be contacted on, if you will, please.
Yes, sir. I'm on YouTube at Stanley Malif Lewis. That's Mellif. I'm on Instagram at the same name, Stanley Malif Lewis. And I can be reached at maliflewis@gmail.com.
Okay, we'll be sure that everyone gets that. And the reason that I say that is because if they miss my show today, they can go back and there will be a replay of that show on YouTube, because I'm on YouTube myself. You can contact me or be in touch with what I'm doing as Man Exchange on YouTube at Man Exchange 2026. I'm also Linktree Coach Short, and on Facebook, Alfonso Short. So I hope that, again, that you all have had a great entertainment today with only a little appetizer of the song and of the music. But let me tell you, it's very explosive, and I love music. I think you'll love Stanley Malief's songs, and you'll love his style. So once again, everyone have a great day, a great weekend, and please share information where individuals can contact me or watch my YouTube. Oh, I failed to mention that I've been syndicated with my podcast show, and I can also, this show will be broadcast on conversationradio.com on Sundays at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. The Saturday show is 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. To everyone, have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. Peace.